This is Jason Reed Pratt, author of Cry of Justice. Have you ever wanted to use your recently modernized road network to pull a god-awful number of your military divisions into one central city where you can prepare to take back a number of your most populated areas, as well as convince the people there you're a great ruler so that your mighty military ally from across the sea will be happy that your people are happy until you suck them only a little dry for sake of appeasing the various corrupt politicians in your country? Me too! Fortunately, I'm playing the Army of the Republic of Vietnam in a Crisis Grogs multiplayer full-team cooperative run of GMT Games Fire in the Lake, designed by Mark Herman and Volky Runke, and last turn I consolidated a lot of my offensive firepower down in Kanto City for just this purpose. Someday. I hope. That's assuming I can keep our newbiest player, Dave, as the North Vietnamese Army, from applying the amazing logistic status he has developed to flood me with slightly better troops than mine. So far our delaying tactics have worked. We're now at the second half of turn 12, and aside from building up his amazing logistic power, Dave has only put four. He has put 4 specs for the trail value 3+1 base on the board here in the Parrot speak than he started the game with, and not yet a single troop. Faced with a limited operation with no special, NVA-Dave passes and picks up 1 cash, up to 20. This brings us to turn 13. Captain Buck Adams becomes the current card, and while we can now expect the second coup of our non-historical shuffle build any time, starting from here, it should be in cards 14 through 26, Oriskany is the new upcoming. Green, red, and blue players are now all eligible in that initiative order. SR-71 Blackbirds, ultrasonic stealth recon planes, started being used over North Vietnam late in the war, although tested somewhat earlier. And the captain, now retired General Buck Adams of the card name, used to fly those recon missions. During a return pass across the country on one such mission, he had to outrun 2 Soviet SA-2 missiles, which explains the shaded flavor text title. My teammate U.S. Rich plays the strategic recon flavor of the Captain Buck Adams event, targeting all areas outside the South, to flip all Team North specs active, which makes them much less effective at doing anything, and the NVA has a hard time reflipping them over to hidden. And then to remove 1 NVA base. He chooses the North Vietnamese base, which neither of us could normally reach. The NVA score goes down 1 base to 3 points. SR-71s were not an armed platform, but they helped pathfind for the fast earth movers which would be tasked soon afterwards. This allows the NVA at second initiative to play a full rally op with infiltrate special mission. We've been trying to delay and divert this as long as possible, but being a nice opponent, I do give him some help on how to strategically manipulate a complex combination to his best advantage. Surely this will not come back to bite me on the butt later! So, in North Vietnam, Dave rallies 2 specs into a base. The NVA score goes back up 1 point to 4, and he sends those 2 specs back to available. It's important I told him to start here and then go to Parrot Speak, because otherwise he'd run out of available specs. Down in the Parrot Speak, Dave rallies 5 hidden specs from available, because the trail is at 4 plus 1 base, plus 7 active already here equals 12 specs. Now he takes a break from doing his rally operation to start doing his infiltrate special mission. This is perfectly legal. You can go back and forth between them like this. So he infiltrates 5 cubes, again 4 trail plus 1 base, and then converts all 12 of his specs to cubes. He now has a new total of 17 cubes in the Parrot's Beak, plus a base, no specs. In southern Laos, he does much the same thing. He rallies 5 hidden specs from the 4 trail plus 1 base, plus 3 active specs, already there, equals 8 specs. He does an infiltrate again for the second time, adding 5 cubes for the 4 trail plus 1 base, and replace adds up to 8 more of his specs for a total of 13 cubes and no specs. Doom 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 doom. Finally, in Central Laos, Dave rallies 5 hidden specs again from the 4 trail value plus 1 base, and that's it. That's all he can do. That adds to 3 active specs here to make 8 specs. Dave preferred to put his second allowed infiltration mission in South Laos instead of here. That's 4 rally targets interspersed with infiltration targets occasionally, which costs him 4 NVA cash down to 16. And just like that, spending only 4 cash, NVA-Dave has an army. A scary army. And he could barf more troops onto the board just like that, almost at will. This ends the turn. Moving on then to turn 14. Oriskany is now the current card. The new upcoming event is Chords. VC Larry and then I, Arvin, are eligible for initiative this turn. Larry plays a full terror operation with special subvert mission. This allows him to shift support 1 notch in any area toward opposition as long as he has a hidden spec there to activate. In Bin Din, he adds a terror card, which always happens when he plays a terror. Support reduced to passive support. US score is reduced by 2 population to 50. He flips the spec active, and VC cash is down 1 notch to 6. In Fuban, terror card added. Support reduced to neutral. The US score is reduced by 1 population to 49. Spec is flipped active. VC cash down 1 to 5. And in Plyku, terror card added. Support reduced to active opposition. VC score up 1 pop to 29. VC cash down 1 to 4. Then he subverts 2 targets as a special mission at no cost. In Quang Tri, Larry replaces my yellow cube with a spec. Coin control is removed. Arvin's score, that's my score, down 2 population to 36. And in Plyku, Larry replaces an orange cube again with a spec. Coin control removed. Arvin's score down 1 population to 35. Notice that he replaced a yellow cube, one of my troops in Quang Tri, and an orange cube in Plyku. That's one of my police. VC Larry should have removed 1 patronage point for having removed 2 cubes by subversion down to 12, making my Arvin score down to 34. But he forgot to do so, as did the rest of us. So by error, I'm going to have 1 more patron point than I should have for the rest of the game, and thus also 1 more score in my favor. Arvin is now up. I can choose a limited faction operation, no special, or a flavor of the event, or I can pass. The only reasonable limited operation for me would be to sweep my yellow cubes down south into defensive positions, but the NVA could easily just go around them, and the event is way too good to pass up. So yes, I am playing the unshaded Oriskany event. This event generally represents naval strikes during the mid-war period in support of Rolling Thunder and MAC-V operations, but its shaded event specifically refers to a fire that broke out accidentally on the USS Oriskany, killing 44 sailors and pilots. Obviously, I'm not playing that flavor. Rather, I'm requesting airstrikes, except the rules for the card don't specify airstrike special missions, so this event will be immune to NVA-Dave's permamigs. I can degrade the trail by 2 boxes, just like from an airstrike, except not calling it an airstrike, without the threats from the MiGs, since this event isn't explicitly called an airstrike. And then I can remove a total of 4 pieces in any order, as long as I clear out North Vietnam first, and then from 1 or both of the Laos provinces. So, starting the event, I smack off the spec and the base from North Vietnam, and then the base in each of the Laos provinces. The NVA score goes down by 3 to 1. The trail degrades to 2. This ends my turn and the turn as a whole. Team North, thanks to the Viet Cong, have improved their score a bit to 80.5%, whereas they've managed to degrade our combined average score to 82.35%. Now, of course, if we looked at Team North's average score, it looks pretty horrible, thanks to the NVA being down literally to Dave's last remaining point. That's more like 42.9% for Team North. However, the Viet Cong did a good job subtly twisting the score back in their favor while putting their entire force of guerrillas on the board, and essentially fighting us off the U.S. win position single-handedly. And NVA-Dave managed to gush a bunch of power out onto the board before we nuked his score back to the Stone Age. And it's now their turns of doom. Doom, 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 doom. Amen, 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 amen.